the Pelicans be worried about Jordan Hawkins, Chris, Lito, and Five? We're about to do it right now. Make sure you smash that like button.
First took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth out.
Presented by, that was tough. That was just a bad start to the show there. Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers. If you've been injured in any kind of car accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, hurt offshore, Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Yes, free consultation. They always fight for the win.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man.
Yeah, it's just accountability on the show. That was a tough start. Well, I'm sorry. We're talking Jordan Hawkins tonight. We're talking Karlo. We're talking Antonio Reeves. Thanks for joining. Appreciate everybody in the chat. We'll make sure to have a segment for y'all tonight where you have questions, and we'll bring on some fans and let y'all ask questions of the panel. So, Five, we'll start with you. It was funny. I was looking kind of just like the stuff we did last year, right? And we actually did a show. Why you shouldn't be worried about Jordan Hawkins. And fast forward a year. And we're kind of doing almost the same show, but Jared, we recapped a game a couple of nights ago, and you were talking about how you were disappointed, just in his ball handling, right, and how that hasn't gotten better. Are you worried about his shooting right now?
First of all, I appreciate the birthday shout outs again. No, I'm not super worried about the shooting. I'm not. It's the. What the?
How do you get that, Lito? How did that happen? I don't know how he does that. That's crazy.
I'm not worried about the shooting, man. It's more about the play. You can see the energy levels there. I'm not mad about a missed game tying shot at the end of the game. Like it was a good look, great play call. Let's talk about that. Like great play call. Execution was there. A missed shot, I'm not tripping about. What I am tripping about is like, stop trying to make Jordan Hawkins just a shooter. Like, that makes me angry because he's more than that. He's a basketball player. Let's, round him out into a basketball player, right? Let's add things to his game that can help him, because what you've seen from the beginning of the summer league is teams guarding him up close and personal, getting into his jersey, making him, one-dimensional. And all he wants to do is shoot. Well, that's all you told him that he's supposed to do, right? But no, he has more to his game. He needs to work out the kinks now. He's not dribbling. He's not passing. He's not creating. He tries to, but it's not the same. When he's only been working on his shooting and his defensive intensity, because all the interviews have been saying, yeah, I've just been trying to work on getting better defensively. He needs to get better offensively as a basketball player rather than just being a shooter.
Chris, we talk about how he's been handling the basketball a lot, right? And he's struggled there. Do you think he's been put in an unfair position in summer league where there's no real league guard, right? Like last year he had Seaburn, he had Dyson Daniels. Do you think he had Seaburn as a lead guard? Do you think he's been put in a position to fail? And I guess in that same question, is it okay that he is failing in that aspect?
I think the second part of what you said is what I would probably lean more towards. Look, I mean, summer league's always weird for me because certain guys are, they're forced to or asked to do things or play a certain way or have certain privileges, responsibilities that they're not going to have once the season starts. So me seeing Hawkins bring the ball up the floor or dribble the basketball, I'm like, it's very rare you're going to be asking him to really to do these things. But it's also like, the other side of that is like Five mentioned, you do want him to have the opportunity to show more of the things that he can do to play, as a basketball player. But will those things that he can maybe show you impact him playing under Willie Green? And, I think outside of defending, outside of him continuing to show that he can rebound the basketball, outside of him getting stronger, the best avenue for him is just to continue to be a, reliable option on spot ups or in transition, shooting the basketball. I think we watched him attempt like attack closeouts a little differently towards the end. We watch him. I think he has one of the best pump fakes on the roster. Like, it's, legit. I think Jordan has a lot to his game, but so, similar to what we talk about, with Brandon, how do you bring the best parts of that towards your role once, the season comes around? So I like it at the end of the day, from a leadership perspective, I like any type of situation where you're challenging a player to do something different, where you're challenging a player to see how they respond, whether they fail, whether they succeed. Just say, all right, this may not be your strength, but go out there and do it, and let's see what happens.
And you make a really good point, Chris, because it's summer league. Like these are times where you should be like, it's okay to fail right now. Like it's okay to struggle because it shows you what you really need to work on, right? And obviously, one thing that you always want to work on it, Lito, but one thing we know that what the kid can do, or what Jordan can do, is shoot the basketball. But why do you think he's struggling shooting now, Lito? Right? So he's 4 of 18 from deep in summer league. Do you think that's a big deal? Because to me, honestly, I don't. He's not going to be playing with guys. He's not going to be playing with these guys. He's been playing with Zion Williamson, possibly Brandon Ingram, and DeJounte Murray, and CJ McCollum. The list goes on and on. Are you worried about that aspect where he's struggling he's also struggling shooting?
I think you answered the question. Like, why is he struggling? Who's passing him the ball?
Well, do you think it matters?
Yes.
Why?
I think it matters because if he's been the one initiating offense, who is passing him the ball to get his shot? Like, if he's a movement shooter, how is he getting movement? Right? Like, I know he's working on his game, but at the same time, like, how is he like, who's putting Jordan Hawkins in the best spot to shoot the ball? Jordan Hawkins is not gonna do that himself. So to answer your question, if the Pelicans want him to be a point guard, yes, I am worried. Dramatically, I'm worried. If they want him to just be Jordan Hawkins and Five said just be a basketball player, then no, I'm not worried. I mean, he had 24 points the other night. Like, he hasn't had a great summer league. I mean, he had 24, then he had 18, then 24, and I think he had like 7. I mean, like, it happens. Bro, summer league is the most selfish brand of basketball there is. Nobody's looking to get anybody involved. Like, if you don't have an actual facilitator out there, then you can like just totally not count on the basketball swinging back to you. Like, if you pass up a shot, right, and you move the basketball, you're not getting the ball back.
You make such a great point, Lito. It's almost like kind of like AAU, right? Because there's a bunch of guys playing for contracts or playing for roster spots or two ways. And so, like, there is this little selfishness to it. I'm not saying there's, like, do what you got to do, but like, I do think that there's a huge magnifying glass on summer league. I'm like, like, it's give or take. Obviously, we're going to talk about Karlo, another aspect, but Jarrett, he's not a point guard. He's handling point guard duties. Do you think that this is a thing that might continue into the season?
See, I hate. I mean, it's positionless basketball now. Like, we like to say point guard and like use that as like a barometer for like just different things, but he does need to have that skill. Like, there are going to be times where you do need to dribble the ball up the floor and being able to dribble it against pressure. Like, this isn't, bitty basketball where you got one guy that can do that. Like, that shouldn't be our team. You should be able to dribble against pressure and get the ball up the floor. Hell, we had Kyra Lewis and he couldn't dribble the ball against pressure up the floor, and he was considered a point guard. It doesn't matter. Like, it shouldn't matter that we were asking a basketball guard to dribble the ball up the floor and being able to, beat initial defense off the dribble. That isn't a hard concept for most people. And he's from the East Coast. Like, that is a thing. East Coast guards, you're supposed to be able to dribble the ball and make plays. Right now, he's having a tough time. One, because he hasn't been working on that.
And he never had. And he didn't do that at UConn either, Jarrett. And so, like, Chris, like, back to like Jarrett's point, do you think there's a little too much on his plate right now where he's like, shit, I gotta be the point guard and I gotta get ourselves into offensive sets and move the basketball and to where he's not playing like Jordan Hawkins? Or am I just making an excuse and just kind of
both?
going?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
I'm struggling
both.
right now.
Yeah.
I need him to have a good game. Okay, I need the guy to have a good game.
But I don't think you do, man. I mean, like, you don't want him to struggle, but I just don't think formats like the summer league are made for dudes that or like Jordan Hawkins. Like, I don't think movement shooters, I don't think one dribble pull up shooters, transition shooters that aren't point guards are made to really unless they just or get scorching hot for a couple weeks. I don't think they're made to succeed in those type of roles or formats because again, I mean, like, you could bring Kevin Huerter like today out and put him in summer league and he would struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not. And I know people are saying he's a basketball player, like, he got to be able to dribble. So there's a lot of shooters, a lot of guys that Jordan Hawkins are, you could compare him to that can't dribble or they aren't fantastic dribblers or they don't have the spacing to be able to dribble. That's cool. He has a specific skill set. That's what he was drafted to do. That's what he was made to do. That's what he's worked on his entire life. And he builds off of that skill set. Well, it all starts with shooting. And if you're not in a position consistently where that's your go-to and you're number one, but you can't really do a whole, like, it's not to say he can't beat anybody off the dribble. It's not to say he doesn't have a move to be able to get his own. It's just not his strength. And I don't think that that should necessarily be held against him. Look, man, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody should want to be uncomfortable. Everybody, if you want to be great at something, if you want to be good at something, you want to continue to be better, you can't be worried about failure. You can't be worried about being in situations that you're not, up to speed with. You learn, you figure it out, you fail. And then, man, he got a lot of time between now and, training camp to really kind of put in the work and continue to get better.
Yeah, really good point there, Chris, and then Lito. We have the last play set up. Where is it at? Well, I said it was in the chat. I don't see it right now. But we had the last play.
Hold on, y'all, that's crazy.
I'm trying to, what's that? Pretty sure I'm not comfortable.
This was crazy.
When you read it back, it look a little crazy. Real time, it didn't sound crazy.
In text form, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's right,
no, I actually sent I sent the wrong video. Hold up. I'm gonna get it up in a second. Pause. Caught it.
Caught it?
Oh
my god.
Justin, just pause it and stop talking.
All right, Lito, our turnovers. You worried about Jordan Hawkins turnovers?
Oh my god. I worry about your turnovers.
Struggling tonight.
Nah. I'm not. He's not gonna be in the game to have these kind of. Well, excuse me. His role in the game is not gonna be that to where he's gonna have these kind of turnovers. Like we just talked about his what he's on the court to do. Is to shoot the ball.
Look, we're 14 minutes in. I've struggled throughout the whole show. It's been a bad one, but look, there's a lot of show left. You can make adjustments. So go ahead, Lito.
Nah, man, I'm not worried about his turnovers. I think when he's on the floor with like actual NBA talent, I think like what I'm saying. You got to take that in perspective too, because not only is it a selfish game, but like it's more of a G League game. It's not guys who are like. You know what I'm saying? Like
it might not even be a G League game. Like it really might not even be a G League game.
I mean, a lot of those guys are gonna be like on either two-way contracts or playing in summer league for the rest of their NBA careers, right? And I'm not about to pass you the ball. But what? I'm out here for me. Yeah, nah. But I'm not worried about that, man. When he gets around actual like talent, actual point guard in DeJounte, even when you see him like with Brandon and Zion, like he's on the floor with Trey Murphy, right? Like,
right.
These things will make his life easier. There'll be less pressure on him, and he'll be able to just shoot the basketball with confidence.
And Jared, we talked about this too, but one thing that I've really noticed throughout the 3 games is how much pressure he's dealing with. Defenders are really guarding him. And there was who's the team? Who's the
First
team?
game, Timberwolves.
Yeah, first game where the coach is like they don't want the smoke, like they don't they're scared or whatever it may be. Like I see that a lot with Jordan Hawkins, where defenders are guarding him 94 feet, and sometimes he's getting ripped, and he's falling a couple times. He picked up a technical foul, so you can clearly tell he's a little frustrated. So I have been disappointed in that, and that's something that he can get better at. But that's going to take. That doesn't just happen overnight. It's going to take a year or two to kind of get more comfortable with basketball and deal with pressure.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it ad nauseum at times where it's not like we want him to play point guard where he's like snake dribbling through a pick and roll. Like, we're not asking that. Just be competent and confident in your dribbling abilities, right? That's all we would want. Being able to, all right, a pick and roll is in front of you, a guy's guarding you tough. The first play of the Timberwolves game, a guy's actually guarding him tough. He DHOs it, rejects it, gets a catch and shoot off the screen. Like that's what you want to see. A guy recognizing, okay, you're going to play me like this. I have a maneuver to get off you. Now he's playing with guys he's probably never played with, or had time with. So that's another, notch against him. But I still want to see the action of, if a guy's going to play you like this, what are you going to do to avert it? Because when you get into the, the NBA games and it's a playoff atmosphere, it's a playoff game, they're not letting Jordan Hawkins get to the corner and shoot. They're not trying to let that happen. So what are you going to do to avert that? What are you going to do to change that? So like, that's the progression I want to see from Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the play. So it's called, the set's called Winner. I'm pretty sure it's introduced by Brad Stevens. But it was a hell of a play call from Aaron Miles. And you can look. This is what I love about these type of situations. You can draw up the greatest play, but it's up to the players to execute them, and the timing of it is incredible. And just like what I think it was either Chris or one of y'all just said, like they haven't had a lot of time together. So in order to execute this play and the timing of it was really impressive by the Summer League Pelicans.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, 3D. Let's see if they get that quick hitter. They like to go for the three-point. They got it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
One more time.
Beautiful.
We got to run one more time.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, 3D. Let's see if they get that quick hitter. They like to go for the three-point. They got it.
Shout out to Karlo.
Saw the screen.
Shout out to
No moving
Karlo.
screen.
Getting
We're gonna-
better at screening.
We're gonna talk about Karlo.
It's a good shot. It was a good shot. I think his leg got hit.
Lito, can I
think
I was gonna mention that. I felt like he was, to me, I felt like he was like looking for a bailout. Like, if I don't miss this, I gotta like create this contact. You know what I'm saying? Like where you're not confident, right? So you're looking for a bailout. Like, I'm gonna kick my leg out.
You don't think he got hit though? You don't think it affected him?
I'm gonna play it again.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, 3D. Let's see if they get that quick hitter. They like to go for the three-point. They got it.
See that
You're
right
right.
leg?
No, you're right.
See that right leg?
No, you're right.
It's
You're
like,
right.
that shows
You're right.
me he's lost
You're
a
right.
little bit of confidence. But I mean, like, that's
The way he sets people up is so crazy.
wait. I didn't even see that. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta play it one more time. I gotta
He
play it.
started so far away. Yeah.
That's the-
Gears,
'cause-
bro. Woo.
He sets the back screen first, right? Yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, 3D. Let's see if they get that quick hitter. They like to go for the three-point. They got it.
He baited him.
Yeah,
He baited him.
it's like
Yeah.
a slow walk, like and then he hits another gear. Like it's like almost like a running back.
Jared, you made a good point about Karlo. I want you to kind of elaborate a little bit more on just his
like-
screening and gameplay.
Man, we talked about Karlo last year, and we were like, this guy is not going to be able to make it.
Terrible.
Terrible. Like we saw it with our own. Like I was sitting courtside, I was like, oh my god.
Flex.
Yeah, it was tough. Like, like I'm like, bro, what are we watching? Like he couldn't set a screen. Like he probably had. Did he foul out? He might have had like 7 or 8 moving screens.
Throughout the
Bad,
summer
bro.
league, he definitely did. I remember it was like a nightly occurrence. It wasn't just like one time. It was like 2 or 3 times a night.
Yeah, it was, bro. It was ridiculous. Like, all right, what are we gonna do? And to see this, like, okay, all right, it's not like jumping off the screen, but if you're watching it like we would because we saw it, like, wait, no, that's a guy that's understanding screen, understanding angles, understanding where the his teammate wants to go, and I'm gonna set a good screen. And if he can do that,
alongside of Zion, alongside of DeJounte, things could be a little interesting.
It could be interesting. Also, you give him a point guard. We're going to talk about Antonio Reeves too. We got this little floater game right there, and a little screen right here. I like screen hard roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you this: that 12, he a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's gonna
He a
be
bad.
We're gonna talk about that because I think he's been I know a lot of people are talking about how great Carlo's been and deservingly so. But we're definitely gonna talk about Antonio Reeves. Chris, what do you like from Karlo?
That unlike Hawkins, unlike some others, like he's doing things that are going to translate to him getting minutes in the NBA. He's going to be. He's doing.
We're there.
Well, no, but that's not a slight to Jordan. That's just.
Oh no! I'm not saying. I'm just saying that Karlo. You're
no. Well, I mean, as currently slated, right? I mean, I still don't think he's a dude that needs to play more than 15 minutes a game necessarily, even that. But I'm saying for whatever time he's on the floor, he's doing things right now that are going to translate to him playing actual games. Like we're not watching him dribble the ball on the perimeter. We're not watching him like he's doing big man shit, screening, rolling, catching lobs, watching little push shots, floaters, offensive rebounding, like all the different things that once the training camp rolls around, they're going to be asking him to do. So, we're not watching him. They're not running consistent ISOs and running that offense through Karlo. Right. They're not throwing the ball down to him on a block and like, yo, Karlo, get us a bucket, bro. We need, we drawing up the play for you to win. Like winner wasn't drawing up for him, right? You know what I'm saying? like shit like that. So that's what I like the most. I'm not, the athleticism is one of the things that we talked about. We've all had conversations about. Five and you Justin just mentioned the screening. He I think he had a few blocks. I still think he's gonna foul the shit out of a lot of people, in a lot of games. But that's okay because he's splitting time with hopefully multiple centers or bigs. That's fine. But him playing fast and him just sticking to the basics and keeping it simple and sticking with the things that he does well. That's what I like. It's nothing crazy. He's taking the right play. There's one play where he I think that he catches the ball and it looks like he's gonna do a dribble handoff. He doesn't. He looks around. His the person that's guarding him drops. Like, oh shit, I'm gonna step back and take this three here with all this space.
Yeah.
Don't mind that play and did it effortlessly. Like it was a clean transition. Didn't look awkward or anything. He, especially yesterday, he took whatever defense gave him. Whatever was available, he made the right play. Didn't do too much. That's what I would like to see from him.
Yeah, good point, Lito. You talked about his passing.
Yeah,
last night.
Yeah, I think
because he did have 7 turnovers a couple nights ago. But like to your point though, I think there's even a couple last night where guys are just dropping it. Like it's like good pass, they just didn't complete it. He's looking in the right place, if that makes sense, right? Like he's seeing it, and he's delivering most of the time, but sometimes there are those lapses. So go ahead about that.
He's processing the game.
Yeah.
That's that's from a young player. That's all you can ask for. He's seeing it. Those are things you cannot teach. Now, the passes may have been a little late, you know what I'm saying? Or not in the pocket he was supposed to pass it. Because listen, you can't have your center can't have multiple games with more than 4 turnovers. Like that 7 turnover game was crazy. He had a 3 turnover game, and the game yesterday probably was his best game overall. Not even from a points perspective. He had 25, but just the process of the game, him just being active. I think initially he might have been pressing, trying to show who he was. And you're never gonna progress in life like when you always trying to show. Once you stop thinking and you just play the game, he looked natural out there yesterday. Like he looked like the guy who I saw in Europe. Like he looked like a guy who, man, look, I'm gonna just run the floor. I'm gonna play hard. I'm a block shots from the weak side. If I can, he had a nice little 2-man game with a couple people. You saw the 2-man game with Reeves. He had something with Jordan Hawkins. He had it with Ford. He might have not scored or assisted on those possessions, but he did get some hockey assists that don't go towards the stat sheet also.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And Jarrett, I keep seeing starting fives and he should be our starting center. Can you tell me why? I don't know. I don't have any intel on this. I'm just interested to hear y'all's thoughts on it. Like, why is Missi, who clearly, and we're going to talk about Missi, like why is he starting over Karlo right now?
I wouldn't just say that off jump. Like, I wouldn't say Missi is starting over Karlo. I mean, you talking about like just summer league?
No,
stuff?
like right now. Like at this point, do you think like does it matter? Do you care? Like,
because you spent the first round draft pick on him, so
and that's the only reason why. Because clearly we all see who the better player is.
Yeah, I mean, you can look and see like Karlo got paid, and then he had a really good game. So that just gave somebody enough, like gave him confidence right out the gate. Right, you get paid, and then you magically just have a good game. Gave him confidence. In Toledo's point, I think he does a good job of seeing things. He just he's reactionary, very reactionary. He doesn't anticipate this being open. This could be, a point of him not playing with these players. The speed of the game is different than what it is in Europe. So there's a multitude of factors playing into it, but I also think like he's looking in the right direction, which is something we hadn't seen. So it's always good to see when you do see it.
Yeah.
And he's physical too.
Yeah.
He's physical.
He's been more physical. He's been more physical. Yeah. He had a moment last night. I think, God, I forget who missed it. It was in the second half where he got a rebound over like 4 people, had like maybe a pump fake and up and under. Even I think finished through contact, got a layup, should have been and one, and they didn't call it. But I was like, wow, I've never seen that before from him. Chris, about Missi though, I think we can all. I saw a tweet today from one of the aggregator accounts, like Yves Missi's the starting 5 for this team, and I'm just like, that's just not that's the furthest from the truth. There's no possible way. He's not ready, and that's okay. He's not ready, but he doesn't process. He can't really catch. The jumper last night was an experience in itself right there. I'm glad he shot it, but he went 0 for 2. The first shot must have missed.
No, I'm not glad he shot it. He don't ever have to shoot that.
He's a project, man. Like he's
that's what I just hate about it though. He's a real project.
Give me a project.
Yeah, but he's like when Jericho Sims got drafted, but like worse.
Whoa, holy shit.
But like worse. No, seriously. Seriously, that's the only. I don't think Jericho Sims is a terrible basketball player, but I understand when the Knicks drafted him what they were thinking. Like he's gonna take a few years. And last year he started to play a little bit, but they knew like he didn't have any basketball skills. He just didn't. They had to teach them as things continue to progress. But he was really athletically gifted, and you kind of try to figure it out for this. He's a project. But hey, man, like hopefully similar to New York, because Jericho Sims gonna be playing some minutes this year for the Knicks.
I thought about this. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this.
Wait, Justin.
Well. I see what are you doing? Yep.
I want to show Chris. I think this is the Chris players.
Wait, hold up. Give me 1 second. Okay.
This is the play Chris is talking about.
Yeah, where he pulls it.
Step back. He's like, fuck it.
Yep.
Like,
Jumper look nice too.
Can we just shout you out just now? How you literally processed this whole thing, got the video up and everything, just like that. That was impressive.
Thank you, man. I'm a professional. Thank you.
I see that. Let me ask y'all this, because I think this is gonna be a hot topic. I personally think Missi. Oh shoot! Yeah, here we go. I personally think Missi shouldn't start on the roster this year. I think he should be sent to the G League because I don't think he needs a lot of work, and I think he needs to play as much as possible. He's only played basketball for 4 years. I think having him up in the NBA where like they practice, but they don't really practice. I don't think that's to do anything for him. I think he should immediately be sent to the G League. Whatever centers you got going, you got, but he needs work, and I think he needs as much playing time as possible. Do y'all agree or disagree with that?
I can't even believe we're having this conversation, man. That man not an NBA player.
People have him starting, Lito. I'm serious. I mean, look, he's a rookie. We're being hard on him, sure, but like, I think reality needs to set in because I personally don't think he's going to be even close to ready.
What's the goal?
Shout out Chaz.
Shout out
What
my
is the
dog.
goal?
Shout out Chaz, man. I wouldn't be. I don't think he should play, but I think given his background, his circumstances, I don't think if I'd be mad if he was like around NBA basketball. If he got a chance to witness and view NBA basketball, I don't know, because like a dude that raw, I don't know how much G League basketball can help him. I'll be honest, I don't know how much how even if you're telling me he's playing basketball, play basketball in your off time. Be a gym rat. Work with assistants. Work with coaches. Work with other players. That's what I would ask. But I'm talking about for the experience in itself, for someone like that who ain't been here long, who's still learning a lot of different things about what it means to be in this type of situation. I don't know if I would just ship him off to the G League and let him kind of figure things out there, because it's fucked up. I don't think he's even ready for that. He can't dominate summer. No, but look though, he can't dominate summer league talent.
No.
Like
he's not going to dominate G League talent.
I mean, so I get it,
but this could be. I just don't want to I went under people that watch the show because we said earlier like we can't be overreacting in the same. But like I'm watching him play. I'm specifically watching Missi play. And I just don't think he's an NBA level player right now. I think he hasn't played enough. I mean, you want about fouling? He's going to foul out easily. Hands aren't great. Is he active? Justin, okay, he's a great lob threat. That's awesome. Like that's all he does well.
So is 95% of the NBA.
Right. Like, you gotta have, and Jared and I tell us all the time, you gotta have an IQ or an idea on how to play. And he does not know how to play right now. And that's okay. That's not like me being an asshole. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. I don't think he's ready to play today, and I don't think he'll be ready in October.
If they've been watching this show since before the draft, like we called that. Like we told you.
But that's why I was so mad at it, Lito. It was just another project you drafted, like you did with Jackson Hayes, and you failed, and others that came before Jackson Hayes, and that's why I couldn't understand it. Did we like? People were like, "Well, we drafted need. Well, need." What did we get? Did we get a rim protector? Because I haven't seen much rim protection. You got dunked on first 2 minutes of the fucking game.
Hey, like, look, Justin. Let me say this to Chris though. I have equal worry with that scenario too, because if you put him around, let's say you put him around the Pelicans and he doesn't get like as much attention as required, like do you actually think that they could develop him? You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't seen a developmental piece from them in a big.
That's fairly, but this is such a big ask. Like this is like I
so
think
where
the biggest
do you
ask
send
possible.
them though? That's what I'm saying. Like what do you do?
But that's it's all about putting, like we talk about this all the time, putting like players in positions to succeed, right? And you have to do the same thing with coaching staffs. Like this is a huge ask. Like once again, he's only been playing for 4 years. And the center position is not an easy position. Like he's like JRE, you're taking JRE over Missi right now. You're taking Tice over Missi. You're probably taking Karlo over Missi. So once again, do I want a kid that's been playing basketball for only 4 years? Do I want him rotting on the bench, or do I want him getting as much minutes as possible in the G League? But like to your point, Chris, like you also make a good point. He's around NBA coaches, development, being around professionals. I'm sure Tice can help him. I'm sure JRE can help. Okay, Lito. I mean, I'm trying here. Go ahead, Jared.
No. I think your best choice or best chance for him to be successful is to send him to the G League. Like he needs to play basketball. with referees and not just coaching staff to stop the game. He needs to get to a point where he can figure stuff out on his own and do that daily, because he's not going to be able to do that. Even when you say you can put him around NBA talent, he's not going to, he needs the basics. Like, he doesn't know how to seal. He doesn't know how to rebound, get position. Screening. He doesn't know how to screen. He does, like, there's so many things that he just doesn't know how to do. And I don't blame him. I blame your thought process by drafting a guy that you knew you couldn't develop. That's the arrogance that I continually talk about. Like, you just thought you could do this, like, again, when you failed. Like, at some point you got to look in the mirror and be like, all right, let's not do that again, and let's find somebody that can. I mean, Khalil Ware was there at 15. You just could have. Did you try to move up? Just nobody like you. Like, did you try to move up? So I don't know. Maybe.
But that's what, like, I think I was so mad at the pick, right, Jared? It's like, okay, well, we need somebody. We need rim protection. We need length. We need a center. It's like, it was just frustrating. Look, and I hope he has a long career. I really do. I just, right now, today, I don't see anything. Maybe in a year like Karlo did, maybe he gets better. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe it takes 2 years. I just don't. I'm just not in the business here for projects anymore, Chris. Like, you got Zion, you got Brandon. No, and like I would have rather someone. I don't know who could. Like, you could have gotten I think Antonio Reeves is going to help out this year. I think he's going to be a player.
Yeah, they on two totally different ends of the spectrum.
Right. I think he's a guy today. I think you should be drafting for today. Like, we always draft for the future and all this. Like, let's look 3 years ahead and okay, that's fine. I understand. But like, this is the most talented team in the history of the franchise. There's no question about it. DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. You've never had a top 6 that better in any other team in franchise history.
Well, I mean, but I will say though, it's in the NBA, bro. It's the 21st pick. Like, you ain't like if you draft for today, you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it is the 21st pick. So,
but Chris, people have him in the starting lineup. People have him in the starting lineup. That's what's going to be insane.
But we don't care. We don't care about those people. Most of them ain't watching Pro Pels talk shows. They not watching full summer league games like some of our crazy asses are doing. Like, they're not as fully invested. They're reading off of. They still think what was it, Jalen Crutcher or Isaiah Brockington is on the roster. Like, they don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, so I don't know what the hell to do with Missi. I don't know, and that's the issue. I don't know what to do with Missi. I hear the G League, and that's probably ultimately, the best decision. What will happen? But I think of it like, it's not like he's going to someone in the chat. I don't know who said it. They said, well, what about they're hoping that he can develop Siakam. Well, Siakam did go to the G League, but guess what? Somebody said like Siakam. I don't think in regards to like the superstar
Pascal Siakam necessarily.
Oh, yeah. But Siakam played in the G League with Fred VanVleet. Like, he played with the G League team that won a championship. Jerry Stackhouse was the coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's who the fuck is he playing with in Birmingham? Who is he playing with? Who's the guard?
That's a good
Liam Robbins.
Get him, just please. Whatever they do, if they send him to G League, make sure you have a nice G League point guard available.
Please. Chris, do you think you get better practice or playing?
I don't know. Chris, I really don't know.
Chris.
Yeah.
Is he going to get good point guard play?
Basically,
what are you asking?
Sorry, Missy, bro. Sorry, bro. It's over. Dream's dead.
Three summer league games in.
Dreams dead. DeJounte can't do it all, bro.
It's just my thing here with Missi is like, he's got time to develop. He can be a fine basketball player. I have no idea. We got to be realistic here. He's not the starting center on this team right now.
You going to,
because it just drives me insane, Lito.
Like, the starting part, you stop. He's not a center on the basketball team. You could just take the starting point out. He is not a center on the basketball team. He ain't even a center if we keeping it a buck. But the thing is, he 3-4 years away from whatever it is that he's gonna become.
See, we have smart. We do have smart fans like John. If he needs years to reap the benefit of him being good, can we afford to keep him? Or was the benefit of ever drafting him at a rookie salary? We have to pay for potential.
Great question, John.
That is a great question.
Thought process, thinking. Okay, Jarrett. Actually, let's do this. 40 minutes in, mate. Wow, that was brutal. 40 minutes in, make sure you smash the like button. Let's hear what we got. We go Lido. Let's hear from Standard Mortgage.
Buying a house is one of the largest financial investments you'll ever make. That's why you need the experience and the support of the Standard Mortgage team. Whether you're looking to purchase, refinance, or consolidate debt through a cash-out refinance loan, Standard Mortgage will help you every step of the way. For the last century, we've grown to 7 locations across Louisiana, but we've always called New Orleans home. While others are busy raising your rates, we're focused on raising the standard. Visit us today at stanmore.com, STANMOR.com. NMLS number 44912, Equal Housing Lender.
Shout out to Standard Mortgage, Lido. All right, let's talk Antonio Reeves. 5. I like him.
Yeah, I think he's a hooper. One play told me everything I needed to know.
Which play was that?
Yeah, the play where he entry passes to Karlo on the seal for a shot to something that may look like antiquated. That may look like, okay, bro, we don't have anybody to do that naturally. We don't to notice that a player has.
That was the big word. Notice. Remember, he drove, he backed out, and then he put a little spin, a little English there on the entry pass.
That boy took a page out of my book, and I'm like, yo, this kid can hoop. Get the books out.
This brother said antiquated.
Yeah,
antiquated.
Yeah.
I've been reading. Listen, I like this dude, bro. I think he can add a positive impact. Also fulfill a role like Najee had, to be honest. It won't be the same, but I think he can guard guards. He'll probably have some trouble with wings like Najee had early on. His ability to shoot the ball will probably be a little bit better than Najee early on. So I think the similarities are there, but they have slightly different games. So if you're looking for a replacement, I think you might have found something.
Jarrett, one of my biggest things I've noticed about Antonio Reeves, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't watch a lot of college basketball, so I didn't know much about him. I did read on the Sky Report, can shoot the shit out of the basketball. I think shot 44, 45% from deep. He is way more than a shooter. I mean, way more. I mean, this guy has a little floater. He's got touch off the glass. Like he can like score. He ain't no shooter. Like he can score in multiple ways.
The in and out dribble reject. Then it's the giant killer that he just has on tuck. Like it's like he playing game. What's the game on Xbox? Y'all be shooting people. I don't play the game no more.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Thank you. Yeah, like he can just switch a gun real quick. I got it out. Like I think his ability to see. Oh damn, that was crazy. Pause. His ability to see the game, and it's not fast for him. That's the thing I've been most impressed about. Like it doesn't like speed him up. He isn't out of control. It's just like, all right, you guard me like this. I got 1,000 different ways to beat you, and then I'm gonna get other people involved. So I like his game.
Yeah, look, before Chris, accountability here.
Well, I thank the Lord. Well, I thank Coach Harbaugh.
Sorry. Chris, go ahead.
Before I start, Justin.
Yeah.
Is he a better basketball player, complete basketball player
You're gonna say
than Jordan Hawkins today? Is he more complete?
I mean, 3 summer league games.
No. Just watch it. No, just watching his game. Just watching his game.
Today, yes, he's better.
Wow.
Today, yes.
Wow.
I think he can. I think he can impact the game more than Jordan Hawkins, but that's not to say that Jordan Hawkins. I think that Jordan Hawkins is a very high ceiling,
Wow. I don't think he's more complete, but I wanted to set you up because I knew you would say that.
Oh wow. Oh,
But
wow. And I love Hawk.
So I just don't. That wasn't crazy, but just the way. All right. So.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck, man?
Tough one.
You having a bad performance, brother.
Bad
So the thing I like the most about Antonio, 5 mentioned earlier something about East Coast guards, right? So Antonio is from Chicago. In my time of being here, and in regards to comparing Chicago to just the East Coast, I compare it to New York. I think their guards are very similar. Like a good majority of them, they dribble, they get to the rack, and none of them can shoot. And none of them can shoot early on. That's how all the guards in New York and Chicago are made. And the thing I like the most about Antonio is that he was the same way, but then he adapted and said, "Oh, I gotta shoot." Well, now you get to watch the best of both worlds. You get to watch what he learned as a creator. You get to watch what he learned finishing around the basket. What he learned, all the different counters and the different moves that he has. That Five was mentioning in combination with somebody that can shoot the basketball. On top of the fact that you can't speed him up, and he looks like like he realizes he's not a great athlete, and he plays at his pace. And it's never out of control. That's an NBA player. I don't know if it's for the Pelicans or somebody else, but that dude is going to be a part of the roster. And it's crazy, but I can see it translating even from summer league basketball because he's gonna play the same way once he's in the NBA. Like he's not gonna change. And it just so happened to be that he's fucking 23 years old, like the old as fuck. So he's been doing this for like a little bit. All of his skills work together, bro. He's going to be a really good player.
Chris, I before I get to lead out, because I want to ask you this: how, if he does stay with the Pelicans, how does he get playing time? Like, who is he going to play over?
Oh, I mean, he might play over Jordan Hawkins.
It's a reality.
Yeah. I'm bullshitting.
I don't think you are. Why?
No. Well, I mean, look. I mean, shit. The bench is what we got right now. We talking 8. We talking 8, 9 players right now for sure. Yeah. That we know CJ, in the rotation.
Yeah. He's a good player. I
mean, he's 6. He's about 6'4", 6'5". I mean,
he's 6'5". He's 6'5", 180, and he's 23 years old.
I think an injury would have to happen for him to kind of make that a reality. Like, I'm trying to think. Miami got a guy that is a really solid basketball player. He's a little bit older, that kind of made his way last year once players got hurt and never let go of the rotation role. But I can't think of who he is.
Highsmith?
His first name is crazy. Yeah, Highsmith. Yeah,
Hayward Highsmith or something like that.
Yeah. He's somebody that I think about that Reeves would have to. Now he's way older than Antonio, but he's somebody that I think about. Like, if an injury happens, you do not want to lose any time to him, because Antonio more than likely is not giving you that job back.
And Chris, you got to think going into the year, like Hawkins is going to get the first crack at it, and then if he's not, really don't think that. Y'all really don't think that?
No, it's not that, because you paused before you said crack at it, and then you still said it, and you didn't.
There's no like.
You didn't comprehend that you said it.
There's just like nothing. When he gets his first shot at it, you think Jordan Hawkins will get the first?
Yeah. That's better. That's better.
That fucking dog, man. What's going on?
Hey, hold on. Chris,
it is crazy.
You said if Antonio gets an opportunity, he's not gonna like relinquish that.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel differently. Willie Green will make him.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, yeah.
Because we saw Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah, you're right.
34.
You're right.
But
Bob, wouldn't you say Antonio Reeves is closer to a Willie Green type of player than Jordan Hawkins?
Yeah. But are you going to be like, is Griff going to make the call and be like, Yeah, we had a first round draft pick
Yeah.
2 years ago, and you're gonna play the second round guy over him, and he's not like elite like Herb. Like,
I got you.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah. All right, Lito, thoughts on Antonio Reeves?
Man, Antonio Reeves is that was a great Chris had a great point about Chicago and New York guards. Antonio Reeves is a professional scorer. He has every move, he has counters. You know what I'm saying? He's not an athlete, so he understands where to pick his spots on the floor. He's got every variation of a floater that there is. I'm talking like a 2-foot floater, a 1-foot floater, a fadeaway floater. Bro, if you want to watch somebody score the basketball, just go look at his Kentucky highlights. He is a professional bucket getter. And the thing about him that's so impressive to me is the guy played with 2 high usage players at Kentucky and still led that team in scoring. That's impressive. Like, you play with a Dillingham and you play with I can't think of the dude's name. I'm literally watching them play
Reed.
basketball. Yeah. You play with Reed. You know what I'm saying? And you still led that team in scoring. And to be honest, man, Mike Cyprian, shout out to Coach Mike. He had a perfect like portrait of his game. He said, man, Antonio Reeves is a guy who somebody said, I forgot what what JUCO he went to at the time, but he said, you can tell somebody looked at his game and said, yeah, man, you could score here, but go prove you could do it over there. And he literally went and did that shit. And the thing about his game is when you see him playing summer league, much like we said about Carlo's last game where it was just natural, everything about Antonio Reeves' game is natural. It's just going to translate to the game. He's not doing anything out of the ordinary because, to be honest, athletically, he can't. He can't. His first step is not impressive, but he has a subtle enough handle to surprise you. The release on his damn.
So you finish your statement. We'll get to it. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it.
I said Dillingham, man. Come on, man.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
No accountability. Finish your thought. Go ahead. Finish your
know,
thought.
man.
Yeah, what was happening?
Um,
You know what? Fuck that.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. This is for you.
Play the whole clip
man,
too.
Anyway, man, I don't know why you played the whole clip for me. You've been 48 minutes of bad basketball. Like, what are you talking? Why are you mad at me?
Game's not over yet. Still
Man,
here.
look, Antonio, yeah, he said fuck me. What I did? Antonio Reeves played like a young CJ McCollum, dog. He played like a young
Bro. So that's the point
I was trying to say.
Ooh.
Bro, listen, when you talked about float game, dog, I watched CJ shoot floaters for like 15 minutes. Like, I'm like, bro, what is he on something, bro? Like, who does this? Same one, left leg, right foot. It doesn't matter. Offhand. And I'm like, all right, cool. The next game, CJ shot the same floater I saw him working on his first shot. Like, all right, that makes sense. That's going to be like the telltale sign. If Antonio Reeves wants to get better, I bet money he's going to be attached to CJ McCollum at some point.
Dang, five. That's a really good point. And that's the stuff, Jared, you know, over the last year we got to see like CJ. It's so funny. Like, he's one of the hard. He's always in the gym working on his game. So is Trey Murphy. So is Brandon. Like, there's a lot of guys. Like, I think Antonio Reeves is that type of player. And to Missy's like credit, I think Missi will, if he's up in the NBA level, I think he's gonna be a hard worker. He's gonna get better. Just today, it ain't there. I mean, look, 504. But I mean, like, summer league. I mean, he was a stud at Kentucky, 4-year guy, can score the basketball, high IQ player. I mean, I like him. I think
he was the leading scorer on a team that had 2 lottery picks.
I think he shot 52% from the field. How 46 from deep?
Yeah,
46% from deep is insane at any level. I don't care where you're playing. And then 84% from the free throw line. Is that right? And Jared, I know we said this on the last broadcast, but he was one of a handful of players to do that in college basketball. I mean, the dude can score. He can hoop. It's just will he get a shot?
Go ahead, Lito.
This is nothing new though. Like he led Illinois State. He had 20. He's been averaging 20 points a game for the last 3 years. Like this is nothing new. It's just on a bigger stage now. People paying attention.
Hey, you know who Missy would benefit from?
Chris Paul.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yep.
I ain't mad at that.
No.
Justin.
No, it's a good point, Jay. I just
and Jonas
appreciate you, Ronald.
Jonas will be dedicated to working with them and and helping them out, man. So I mean,
yeah.
Oof.
Ronald, make sure we'll answer this question in the next 10-15 minutes. We'll take the fan questions. Did y'all want to add anything more on Antonio Reeves? CJ McCollum comparison's an interesting one. Definitely can see that.
I mean, he don't got the bop that CJ has, nah.
Yeah.
But the scoring outputs, like CJ averaged 20 the last decade. Like, the floater, the ability to shoot the ball, catch and shoots, like, don't that look like CJ McCollum?
He has really good scoring process, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Really good process and pace. And the thing about process and pace is that, like, when we talk about how, like when game speeds change, it's easier to adjust if you have the right practice and the right pace. You know what I mean? You know that if I worked on this this amount of times, I just got to speed up a little bit. Or maybe I got to slow down. It's a lot easier to kind of adapt on the fly if you are good when it comes to your process and your pace already. If that's naturally who you are, then the change of games aren't gonna, bro. I mean, again, he went from Illinois State to Kentucky, not
Right.
University of Illinois, Illinois State to Kentucky.
You know what's funny too about that, Jared? Like the way he attacks the rim, I feel like he should have gone the free throw line way more than what he's been rewarded. He also creates contact, and to his point, like he's creating contact and also finishing. And so, obviously, I was just looking at his free throw stats. So he got to the line 4 times at Kentucky's senior year, shot 86% from the free throw line. I mean, yeah, kid can score the basketball.
Go watch him. If anybody wants to like really be a hoops nerd, go watch him play basketball at Simeon. Watch his high school highlights. I'm sorry, Chris. Say it the right way, Chris.
Simeon.
Yeah, whatever. Go watch his basketball highlights in high school, and literally you will see that he has been doing the same things since then. The floater is there, like the change of pace. He was shooting middies. He was doing the things. He just got better.
Yeah. So look, if you're new here, about 140 people in the room, appreciate y'all on a Wednesday night. If y'all new here, smash the like button, hit the bell notification, let you know we're going live. You can also subscribe to the channel. We usually go live after every game. Me and Jarrett were going to go live last night, and then I just texted Jarrett that there was no way I was staying up. I mean, the game ended at like 11:45. It would have been a disaster. So let's get to fan questions. So last segment of the show. So if y'all have questions for the panel, I've started a bunch already. Obviously, super chat. So we'll start with the super chat. So Ronald, really appreciate you and your super chat. So we'll get this one to Chris. Thanks for keeping us updated and entertained, fellas. If they are unable to move Brandon Ingram, what happens to Trey Murphy and his extension?
Shout out, Mr. Ronald.
That's a good ass question. Yeah. That's a question that I don't have an answer for, to be honest. I mean, I think regardless, he's going to get his money. I think that it'd be interesting to see if they decide that they're not going to move Brandon. If maybe they pivot to do something that we're not expecting with another roster move or two. But like, no matter what, I think what people should be thinking about right now is, why haven't you heard of other teams being linked or interested in acquiring Trey Murphy? Why haven't you heard about other teams being waiting if the Brandon Ingram situation stays the same? Teams are thinking about Trey Murphy. It's a reason for that right now. It's a reason that Trey, you're seeing him with Pelicans players. He's in Vegas. I think with CJ, you saw him with Herb. Like, he's been like around. He's moving around and functioning as if it's only a matter of time. And that's because that's the case. So regardless of what happens with Brandon, Trey's going to get his money, and he's going to be a Pelican.
Appreciate you, Ronald. Thank you for the super chat. Let's go, Lito. If we go into the season with Carlos, our starting center, how do y'all feel about playoff chances, and how far can we go?
Listen. Carlo had a good game in summer league. I still don't like starting center to me. I don't feel good about that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like he's a 12 to 15 minute a game guy to me at this point. I don't think you gonna really go far in the playoffs if Carlo is playing 25 to 30 minutes a night. Like I don't. First of all, I don't think he only have 6 fouls, but I truly believe that he's going to see his 6th foul before his 20th minute. So, yeah.
That's okay. For a guy like Carlo, I'd rather him just use all the fouls anyways. Appreciate it, Will. So, Jarrett, it's an interesting comment. Ford has a better game than Jose, and he's a floor general. Something Jose hasn't been effective as Ford.
Oh my God, I disagree. I disagree with you, Kenny. Or Kenneth. I'm gonna call you Kenneth because that's what you got right there. Nah, I think Jose has the ability to be a point guard. He's just not asked to do that necessarily on the team all the time. Especially with the units that he's in. If you look at FIBA and the games he's played, he's been really good in pick and roll. He's been really good creating for himself. If you give him the opportunity, I'm pretty sure he'll shine that way. The forward kid, I thought that the length kind of jumps out the screen for you. The ability to pass the ball, throw lobs. I think that's probably the one thing he really does better than Jose. But other than that, like Jose can change a game. We've watched him for the last 3 years. We can name you about 10 games that he's won just by impacting the game. So I don't think the forward kids will be as effective as Jose.
And you know what, Jerry, you make really good points. Like, he's a good player. He's just not going to make this roster. For being very as honest and realistic as possible. Appreciate the question. So Lane, Chris. I have this one. Where's Ross that he needs to answer versus Carlo? He does. There needs to be accountability on this show. Ross did say that Carlo isn't going to make the roster and is not an NBA player. Looks like he is an NBA player. Let's see.
I think it's a little bit early. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I don't. Absolutely not. I don't. Chris, BI, true or false? Carlo is the starting center.
No, it's.
Hold up, Chris. BI, stop asking dumbass questions. Go ahead, Chris.
It's either gonna be Tice or it's someone who's currently not on the roster that they trade for.
Why do you think it's a dumb question, Leo? I'm seriously, because I know how he's thinking, and he's not thinking at it wrong.
No, you don't know BI. BI's no. I know who this is.
Oh, never mind then. Okay.
Do you know Nato? You don't know Nato? I don't know Nato.
Let's see. Lito, Carlo's gonna be barbecue chicken. I'm not convinced. From Zilla.
I mean, listen, man. Shout out to Lane. Lane fighting for Carlo life in the chat. So I think you should bring Lane up to answer that. Look. Shout out to Carlo for getting paid. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, he get a lot more money in the NBA. He had a great summer league game. So
I did have a good summer league game. I saw Christian posted he was like the last center to have like a career night was oh my God, the name's slipping now. Like, he was a tall, skinny dude a couple 3-year summer leagues ago. John Butler.
Shout out to John Butler.
Shout out.
He had like a perfect game. I think he went like 9 of 9 from the field, had like 20-something points, had like 4 blocks.
Yeah.
That was
remember he was gonna be the starting center?
Yeah, John Butler was gonna be the starting center.
So stop talking to me about people. Never mind.
John Butler
Right,
Jr. The next Giannis.
Yes.
People saying.
All right. Jarrett, Reeves is smooth and developed a nice 2-man game with Carlo in no time at all. That's a good point. I mean, they've only been playing together for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah. Basketball players playing basketball together, doing basketball things. I like to see it. Guy that came from Europe that knows how to play basketball, and the old guy, the 23-year-old from Kentucky that played at Indiana State, knowing how to play basketball and make entry passes. Yeah, I like to see it too.
Jared, it was so sad that I got so excited about an entry pass. I even tweeted about it. I literally wasted time quote tweeting Pelicans film room.
Yeah.
What a nice entry pass.
Yeah,
Because you don't see it. You don't see it very often.
You don't see it.
Is John Butler in the NBA?
No way.
No.
No way.
Oh, man.
I forgot about him. Chris, do you think Hawkins comes off the bench before Jose? Not a shot.
Not a shot in heaven or hell.
Do you agree with it?
Yeah. Yes.
Dog. Yo,
Jose's a better basketball player. What
you.
are we doing? I'm not even.
Yep. Hold up. You know what? That is true. I'm glad. Bayou Sniper. Thanks for bringing this up. We can't go through the show without bringing up the Missi jumper. Yeah.
Justin, hold on, because I think you need therapy, Justin. Why won't you let this Justin Hawkins shit go?
Justin Hawkins or Jordan Hawkins?
Jordan Hawkins. Why won't you let Jordan Hawkins go? You might as well be Justin Hawkins.
What do you mean?
Why won't? When I said that there's no way that he comes off the bench before Jose, you couldn't believe it. Like we could have put like the sad music in. Like what? Why is that crazy? Last week you wanted to debate with me who had a higher ceiling between Jordan Hawkins and Trey Murphy. Like, what is going on here? What do I need to know? What am I missing?
I don't know. I'm just high on him. I think he's I think he can be a really good player. I don't know.
You think his ceiling higher than Trey Murphy?
Somebody high.
Say that. I said he's Chris fucking lied.
Five got it right. Five got it right. Because what's going on, brother?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Do I have a problem? Do you think I got a problem?
If you think his ceiling higher,
I didn't. You know what? Stop this, Lito, because this is the bullshit I'm talking about. I'm about to go rewatch this show and go find it because Chris is lying. He's exaggerating right now. I would never say that.
Am I lying or am I exaggerating?
I don't know. To be honest with you, maybe I get off the Hawkins train. I don't know.
Nah, man. I think you have a point to be there, right? Like he has potential, right? You see things that you're like, okay, this could manifest into something greater. Justin Hawkins, that's crazy. But the fact that he's not going to get that opportunity, luckily for Trey Murphy, like he's been able to kind of break through the glass a little bit better than Jordan Hawkins has. He's 6'10". I think that might have something to do with it. But I
Jared, you see it, huh?
Yeah, what?
You see it with Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah, but to say he has more potential.
I did not say this. Stop fucking. This dude's lying. He's lying. Hey, it's another comment. I can't. This has been a tough show for me tonight. Jeez.
What?
Did you say Jeez? Is he Belmont?
I said jeez. What is that's a fact, Jack? What was the saying, Leo? Is that what it was? That's a fact, Jack.
oh my God.
This is a weird one. Leo from Quincy. I'm just thinking, what has DJM done since he's been in the league?
Whoa.
DeJounte Murray?
I would think that's what those initials would stand for, but I have been wrong before.
Okay. I mean, bro, I can't, bro. I hate that dog. I don't like. What am I supposed? What? It's not even a question. Okay, good thought. Good thought, Quincy. Good job on thinking.
Okay.
That written down in your notepad.
That's crazy. That's messed up.
Jarrett from Bayou Sniper. I'm more worried that Brandon is staying than anything else. To be honest, our spacing and lineups are chaos.
Brother, we've been preparing for this slow death for a minute. You might as well accept some stuff that happened. Like
It is what it is. I mean, spacing was already bad. If you're already in the hill, what's the point of going a little bit lower? It wasn't going to like fix itself by just adding DeJounte. It wasn't going to fix it. Like there's a multitude of problems, and I don't think Brandon is the one that if you just trade him, everything else changes. Nah, I think there's a couple of things you need to change. And I think he's just one of the bigger pieces in that process.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on. I'm gonna answer this question. NBA All-Star, NBA All Defensive Second Team, NBA Steals leader, multiple playoff appearances. Like, I guess, like, what has Zion done? What has Brandon done? Like, what? Why stop there? Shout out to Chad. Damn, that's crazy.
Right, that's funny. All right, so let's see. This was weird. Cap Trey is not going to get us a contract even close to Herb Jones. He's going to get.
Your name is right.
He's going to get maybe 3 times more. He's probably going to get 150 mil. Herb's got 55 mil. So yeah. Let's see. This is a good question, Quincy. I want to hear both y'all's thoughts. Chris, start with you first. What happens if BI, I guess, I think he's saying ball out, right? And we can't trade him. Either way, let's just say this. What if Brandon goes into the year, right? No contract extension, and then you can't trade him at the deadline? Like, you're going to do everything in your power, right? Like, I keep thinking about it. Like, there's no way they can go into the year without some type of extension, right?
Sure, they can.
Right.
Do you think that would be? You think that? I mean, of course they can. I'm just saying, if I'm the Pelicans, I'm not necessarily thrilled by that.
I mean, I would hope. Well, of course, but I would hope by September, like somebody's going to quit. Somebody's gonna give up, either Brandon's side or the Pelicans. Somebody's going to give up and say, "All right, we gotta take the L." And if not, then going to the question, if they can't trade him, well, it's gonna be or if they don't trade him by the trade deadline, it is another Lonzo Ball situation, but 10 times worse than what happened with Zoe.
Yep. Jarrett, hear me out. I see a lot of Lou Williams and Reeves game.
6 man, like Lou.
I don't know if he's like the professional scorer Lou Will was, right? Like, I don't think it's that. But I mean, I could see like the stature maybe will be one thing. He doesn't have like the block pop again. Like, he doesn't have like a killer crossover. But and also, I think Lou could give you 40 at any juncture. I don't know if it's that for me, but I mean, I can see like the hints of it being there. I think the stature probably plays a part in that. But I don't know. I kind of go back to like the CJ comparison. Just like, it seems like dude is probably a professional scorer rather than anything else.
Yeah. So this is the stat. Jarrett, only Power 5 player and one of just 3 in Division I shooting at least 50% from the field, 44% from deep, and 86% from the charity stripe.
Yeah, if we go back, we look at Trey Murphy.
Damn.
He had a similar stat coming out of college. Yeah.
Shout out to Brett, man. Brett be knowing, dog.
Yeah,
Brett
shout out to you, Brett. Lito, it's a good question. I was having this conversation earlier today with one of my friends, but good question, John. How Ingram is going to ball out being a third option?
John, though, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't have a lot of faith in whatever the answer could be. I see him being a second option, and it you know what I'm saying, it did not work so well. I don't know. I don't have faith in the situation. I don't have faith in the coaching staff trying to figure out the situation. I told you that he was going to be here and not be traded. but I don't think the Pelicans had a plan for that. And just to take a step back in the whole situation, the previous question about Brandon, what to do with him, let him walk, etc. To me, it shows a literal miscalculation by your front office overvaluing your players. And this is not the first time you have overvalued a player of yours and you could not move him and then had to add pick and or picks to do so. And this is probably going to be the same type of situation where you have to add picks because you don't have any second round picks. You have the first round picks in order to move Brandon. So I don't know. I hope it gets done sooner than later. But shit, man, to be honest, it's a lose-lose situation that the Pelicans in because if you let them walk for free, like, right, you let him walk, you get nothing. If you trade him now at this point when his value is disintegrated, you're not getting what you should get. I don't know how it's gonna work. Maybe John, if you have a thought, let me know, dog. Because like I honestly I don't know. Because you brought a point. Now you brought another. I don't want to say ball dominant, but you brought another guard in. You brought a guard in who needs the basketball. Brandon also needs the basketball. I don't know.
Yeah. This is we're gonna talk about this Sunday night, but Chris, I want to hear your thoughts on this too. But from Daniel, I don't understand how so many people have Herb coming off the bench next season. Thoughts? I put out a tweet yesterday. There were multiple tweets. I'm just saying I tweeted that Trey Murphy needed to start, and I thought about it. I still stand on this. But I need to see Trey Murphy as a starter. I think it's time. You know, obviously you can go through stats. I watch every single game. I see how Trey makes Zion better. I see how Zion makes Trey better. Those two together work throughout the entire year. Jarrett, Brosh, Chaz, all y'all said, why would Trey Murphy be the first sub for Zion Williamson? It makes no sense. You want to see those two on the court at the same time. I think Trey Murphy can add another element of scoring to this lineup. And then also I think Herb and CJ coming off the bench in second units. And then Herb closes the game. So really, who gives a shit if he doesn't start? As long as he's playing 30 plus minutes, that's all I care about. I think Trey needs to start. I need to see it. It's year 4. You're about to pay him $150, $160 million. And you have not seen him for an entire year as a starter.
Are you asking me a question or do I?
No, I'm thinking out loud. Like I'm just like,
Oh.
I'm trying to, I'm answering Daniel's
Oh,
question
okay.
of,
Gotcha.
why Herb Jones would come off the bench. Because also I think he would go to the bench and be like, whatever you want, coach. I just want to win.
I think people that are aligning it that way are assuming that there will be a current center that's on the roster at the 5. DeJounte Murray would be going into the starting lineup, and Brandon Ingram is returning. So therefore, your starting lineup is, and CJ doesn't go to the bench. So pretty much a good majority of things really don't change. But you're talking DeJounte, CJ, Brandon, Zion, Tice. I think that's what people that are thinking of it that way. That's part of the,
Yeah, Lito, go ahead.
You know, Justin, I want to say something about this.
Okay.
I've gone through the current starting lineup so many times and what it should be. I just don't see how first team all defense Herb Jones comes off the bench. He has to start, in my opinion.
I don't know why I don't know what I did to him, but he just decided to mock me. But that's cool. I mean, it's fucking weird behavior. But if you want to mock me, like talking like basketball, it's not that serious. Like I think Herb Jones Herb Jones would go to the bench. Trey Murphy would start. Am I crazy?
My bad. Yeah.
Thanks for reading that, Lito. Shout out to you, Fish.
Here we go. Here's fun.
Chung, Herb and Trey should both start. So CJ and Brandon go to the bench. CJ and Brandon off the bench. CJ and Brandon off the bench. You're gonna have $70-something million off the bench, as Chaz said. Think about that.
What?
Could you imagine CJ and Brandon Ingram coming off the bench? You
I'm
really?
here for the chaos, man. Whatever. Like,
So you'd start
it's already a weird
DeJounte.
situation.
You'd start DeJounte, Herb, Trey, Zion, Tice.
I don't care what you do with CJ McCollum, though, to be honest, because
I don't care either.
CJ, like, I mean, I respect that brother, and I think he should play a lot of minutes. I think he's earned the right to say, "Fuck y'all, I'm not coming off the bench." However, he is an expiring contract after this season. Like it you know what I'm saying? Like he's not the future of this franchise, and at some point, this franchise got to start thinking like a franchise and not a year-to-year business. You know what I'm saying? They got to start thinking like a franchise, and if that means hurting the feelings, even of an established veteran, the president of the Players Association, a 32 or 33-year-old, you know what I'm saying, professional scorer, an accomplished playoff veteran. Even if that means hurting his feelings, and think about the future of your guy that just made it all first team, and the dude you're about to pay $30 million. Okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of is what it is. Now that's not what's gonna happen, but it's whatever the fucking starting lineup says. I hope it's about this team thinking forward and not just thinking about how they getting by to pay the bills for the next month.
Damn, that was a good question from. There it is. I don't know, like an interesting question, Jarrett. From Stephanie, well, I don't hear Lito's thoughts too. Who y'all think is a better player between BI or CJ?
Like career wise, like what's
I'm thinking like today, people are gonna flip out. It's actually hilarious, but I'd take Brandon for.
I mean, depending on where you playing, like, right? I think it's all about a style. Like who Brandon probably would be really good on the team. Like say like Philadelphia, right? If they didn't have Paul George, like Brandon would be really good on a team like that.
Yeah.
Or he might be even better on a team like Golden State, where I put CJ, like, all right, CJ needs, he doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time. I mean, CJ probably can play in more places than Brandon could. Does that make CJ the better player? No. But I would take the talent of Brandon Ingram over CJ, but CJ's had better outputs than Brandon so far.
Lito.
I agree with what Fob said. I think Brandon is the better, more talented player, but as far as the versatility in the role that CJ could play on any team, like a guy who could go to a contender and just find a spot, you know what I'm saying, in a rotation, I think like that's CJ. Brandon is like a specialized guy. It's a lot of things that Brandon needs the basketball. He needs to be like put in certain situations to win.
Okay. Nico. Trey's coming off the bench. Willie can't answer simple basketball questions, let alone make tough lineup decisions. He actually brings up a good point, though. I mean, he'd be consistent with what he's done all of Trey's career, right? Like, all right, like I think that the two easiest players to bench, in my opinion, would be Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. I think you're not going to hear a single word from Herb Jones because of the just dude he is. And then you've been benching Trey Murphy for 3 years. You started Josh Richardson over him. You started Tony Snell over him. I mean, you've done everything to not play him. So you already have your options right there. And you would then start. That's the easiest route with no
path. Less resistance.
There you go. It's the easy route. So then you'd start DeJounte, CJ, Brandon, Zion, center. And everybody happy and you have the same bullshit. Or if you really want to shake it up, you would start Trey. You would start DeJounte. You would start Zion. You'd start Brandon, and then you start center.
I was about to ask you, if you said that the path with the less resistance is Herb and Trey coming off the bench, what's the most difficult? What's the most difficult path?
The most difficult one's Brandon coming off the bench, which would never happen. I don't even necessarily agree with. That would be the most difficult. The second most difficult would be benching Herb and CJ together and starting Trey.
Ooh.
The second unit would be fucking really good.
I think
the second unit of Jose, CJ, and Herb, those three, and then you get maybe a Karlo out there with Zion or something like that. That'd be fun.
I like to make the point that Tobias Harris made the all defensive team coming off the bench. Like going to the bench does not like negate Herb's impact on the basketball floor. All right, like it doesn't. Like when you add DeJounte, it allows you to have your best defender, not guard the elite, players in the like. He doesn't have to guard them for 40 minutes a night anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It allows him to actually take a break because to be honest, Herb has been fairly healthy, but you don't want those minutes to pile up on him. Yep. And then you can close with him and DeJounte at the same time. So it isn't like a death nail to Herb if he does come off the bench, but the money tells you, right? The money tells you, all right, this is probably what needs to happen.
The money tells you. Like that's what also Jarrett, like once again, if he's getting his 30 plus minutes a night and he's closing games, like as a player, Jarrett, actually anyone can answer this question. Could you ever go from starting to the bench and still be productive, or did that really like fuck with your mental?
I mean, are you good enough to? Like, yeah, I think it's contextual in a sense. Like it just depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, is somebody better than you?
I mean, do you think Trey's better than Herb?
From a talent-wise perspective, yes.
Who impacts the game more, Trey or Herb?
Ooh, I like that question. I like that question a lot.
I would take.
So save that. No, that's a show.
Who impacts the? All right, that'll be a show.
That's pretty good.
Put down your notes.
Yeah, that's a good one because that's a.
All right.
I like that one. That's
some
nice.
Notes. Okay. Let's see. We'll go like a couple more minutes. All right. We'll actually end on this one from BI. Lito, let's start with you. What three players?
Questions.
We'll go Lito, Chris, and Gerald end it. What three players need to be on the court in the fourth quarter?
With three players?
With three.
Don't 5 players play BI? What 3 players need to be on the floor? Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray.
Ooh.
CJ.
Zion, Trey, Herb.
Zion, Trey.
I hate this question.
That's a really good question, though.
That's a great question.
Fuck BI. No, it ain't.
Zion, Trey. DeJounte.
So no one said Brandon. Not one of y'all said Brandon.
I told you.
Yeah, I go.
We got 3.
That is true.
That's fucked up though, because he would have been my fourth.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't have been my fourth.
I told you I wouldn't plan him in the fourth.
So
then y'all value Trey more than Herb.
No,
he's about to get
Justin. No, that's not. No,
I'm just saying.
We only had 3 players to name.
I'm just going off the question. Leo.
Look what BI making you do, man. Don't fall into this shit.
BI.
Man.
Shout out to you. All right, we're out of here. Hour and a half. Smash that like button. Oh yeah.
Someone said Laurie.
We got. Come on now. I'm struggling here.
What?
All right.
I'm trying to do. Hey, man, look, man, the Pelicans are day late in the dollar short. That's not the first time you heard this. The Pelicans are a pot with like a hole in it, and they don't really know that. So you keep trying to fill it up. You keep trying to put water in the pot, and like you wondering what the water is all over your goddamn floor. Hey, look, check this out. Pelicans supposed to trade Jonas Valanciunas last summer. They did not. They're supposed to trade Brandon potentially last summer. This summer also, right? They did not. They have not. You're actually supposed to move CJ this summer. You have not. You're about to walk into the same situation again next summer. See you guys then.
Smash the like button.